Peace and light, everyone. How's everyone doing? It's been a hot minute since I made a video, but I'm back somewhat. Y'all, my phone has been through hell, just FYI. So I apologize. The sound quality is not going to be the best, but we're going to speak good intentions that this is going to be better than the other ones that I've recorded and deleted because the sound quality was so messed up. I will be getting a new phone soon because of that. Sorry, y'all. Anywho, hey y'all. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's having a beautiful Sunday. I know it is Super Bowl today, this Sunday. So for all those who are big football fans, I know y'all preparing for y'all night tonight and y'all gonna have a good day. And I definitely speak much togetherness and happiness on everyone, as I know football season is a big time where families and friends do come together to celebrate and watch the Super Bowl. So that's always a blessing for those moments. I wanted to touch on a topic real quick. And that topic is simply learning how to take responsibility even for the bad situations, relationships, and stuff that you always end up in. And this is for men or women. It goes either way. But I'm primarily talking to the ladies on this one only because I usually see a lot more where ladies end up with, like, in situations where they were with bad men or men that did not value them in some way or the other for like a long time. And today what I wanted to touch on is taking responsibility for those things and up front. And once again, this goes for men or women. So when I say ladies, it could be men too, as men do encounter women who, you know, sometimes maybe use them or who do things to them that is not best. So just keep that in mind. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to take responsibility for the people that we allow ourselves to connect with. No, we're not responsible for how they choose to act, for their behavior, for what they choose to let come out of their mouth to hurt us. But what we are responsible for is what we continue to take from these people. A person can only hurt you as much as you allow them to. Too many of us ignore red flags from the very beginning. I'm not sure why this keeps getting darker. Hold on one moment. I'm gonna put this on the charger and see if that changes anything. And no, it's not. I'm not sure why the light keeps getting darker, but hopefully y'all still good as far as seeing me goes. But yes, so many times we'll see things that's like deal breakers for us, or things that really hurt us or bother us or make us feel like, hey, this can't be right, this isn't right, this person truly can't care for me if they're carrying on doing XYZ, and this is something that, you know, that a man does when he loves somebody, or this is something that, you know, is a deal breaker for me, or whatever the case is. Know your deal breakers. Sit down, take time with yourself, think them over, write them down. What are things that's an absolute no for you in a relationship? Whether it's a man cussing at you and yelling at you, whether it's a man putting his hands on you, whether it's a man who is not a provider and is not a protector for his family and his loved ones, whatever it is to you, you know, a man who is too serious and doesn't know how to laugh and joke sometimes, whatever that is for you. Each person looks for something different. I don't know what happened to this light, like you could barely see me now, and I didn't adjust anything on my phone, so I don't know. But these are things that's very important that we know, so that way when we start dating, okay, take your time, and when you're dating, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. I will tell you up front, and I don't care how many dudes get offended by it, I do not exclusively date one person. If it ends up happening that way because I'm talking to nobody else during that time, then fine. And what I don't mean that I'm not, when people hear me say date, or they hear people say date, they interpret that for fucking. We're not talking about fucking here. I'm talking about dating, just getting to know a person to see if they, you know, if you guys meet each other's qualifications to move further into a relationship. We're not talking about sex here, so stop thinking sex when people say dating, okay? Are there some people that have sex during their dating phase? Yes, that's not what we're talking about here. I'm talking about strictly dating / getting to know a person. Okay. Um, that's your time where you're collecting data, you're getting to know people, and you're getting to know, like, hey, is this person a possible candidate or not? You're exiting out the ones that's just not. Most of them that you come across are not going to be candidates that you want to move further with. There's usually a very select few, especially if you're very careful with the person you want to bring into your world, that will actually even qualify, period. And sometimes that takes some trial and error and quite a bit of time of dating before you get to that person that you feel comfortable with, and that person feels comfortable with you as far as moving forward in your future. So yeah, with that being said, during my dating time, I'm not in a rush to commit to anybody. Am I ready for that commitment stage? Honestly, yes, I am. It's been 5 years since I've been fully single now. This April will be 5 years, and I've taken my time with healing, with working on myself, with accomplishing certain goals that I said I want to accomplish and prove to myself, and things I want to get right for me and my family before I even consider bringing in another man. I just believe there's certain things that I needed to get right myself before committing to a relationship, which is a big thing and takes a lot of, time and commitment and responsibility and stuff. Excuse me. I wanted to be able to work on myself in many ways first, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, everything. Okay. And now I'm to that point where I'm ready to move forward. However, I am not rushing. So I am now seriously dating, but at the same time, I'm not rushing into anything. I'm taking my time with these people. And if that's too long for this dude or that dude, then bye. You know what I'm saying? But I know my deal breakers, and we have to be responsible when we know our deal breakers. Listen, stop letting a person back in over and over again when you see that they're not meeting what you have set up that you want. It's really that simple. Like, don't be so hung up and forgiving and stuff that you start disrespecting your own needs and your own wishes and your own desires and wants. Like, let's really keep it real, you guys. So many of us do that all the time, and then before you know it, we're in this situation that where we end up and we're like, how the hell did we get here? Because, like, we got here because we kept ignoring all the signs in the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? You treat people how to treat you by what you allow. I'm gonna run that back one more time. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. By what you allow them to do to you, by how many times you keep forgiving and forgiving. Every time you say you're done, how many times have you said you're done, yet you end up right back with that person? That shows that person they can keep doing whatever they want to you, because they know they got you wrapped around your finger. You're gonna keep going back to them, and what your word ain't shit. You're gonna keep coming back, so they can keep doing you however the hell they want to. We have to take responsibility and stick up for ourselves and say, no, listen, I'm not doing that. If this person does this, I'm not doing that. Like, hey, for, whatever the situation is for you, everyone's deal breakers is different once again. But I believe in setting forth those intentions before even going into, like, starting to date that person and getting to know them on that actual level. And if they match you in that way, then wonderful, move forward. If not, then move on. For me personally, I truly believe that there's no reason that a man should sit there and say that he truly cares about a person, and that he's looking to move forward with this person and so on, and then he's not doing things that a man should do for his woman. So for me, it's certain things that I have on my list that is like, hey, if this is not A, B, C, D, E, this is gonna be X, Y, Z. We're not doing it. It's done. It's at the end. We're done. So know that list for you, and do not accept nothing more. If you know something that's on your list is, hey, this man, I'm trying to build something. This man needs to be financially stable. He needs to have a mindset of growing financially, of being able to teach me stuff and helping me to grow in my areas, or either we're growing together, whatever the case is, then that needs to be on your list. When you see he's not there, his mind isn't like that. His mind is okay with just working an $11 an hour job, and that's no disrespect to anybody, you know what I'm saying? But it's about a mindset. Even more than money, it's a mindset. And this is just an example. Then if you see that's where they're at, then as soon as you realize that that's where they're at and this person isn't pushing for nothing better, but your desire is truly to have somebody that's making as much as you are or more, or that can add to your table in ways that you need them to, because of whatever you're trying to build, then you need to exit that person out immediately. As you guys know, I personally, went public on social media about me no longer choosing to entertain new guys that are not vegan/vegetarian and non-religious. And that's something for me that I had to be honest with myself. Those are now deal breakers that has been added to my list, and they were at first on my list. However, I kind of listen to some people that aren't even on those vibes or on that level of understanding, let me say, as far as not to judge somebody because they eat meat or because of what they believe in. And even more than that, even more than just people telling me that, I've seen it work to where people do have different religions, or they do have different ways of eating, and they're married and they're happy and this and this and that. So I try not to limit that to just that. But I had to be honest, after dating quite a few people that were did not fit those categories, I've realized, for me, this stuff is very important to me. It's very important that we're able to share these type of things. Yes, the way we eat can be a big issue in our house. The way that what we believe in, stuff like that, especially when you're dealing with a person that's very strong and religious, and then they keep trying to push that off on you or your kids or whoever, like, that's not happening with me. So for now on, these are deal breakers for me. So as I'm getting to know somebody, if I see, hey, this person's very religious, hey, this person's real heavy on meat and stuff like that, okay, listen, with all due respect, you're a great person, whatever the case is, you're just not for me. You're going to be a great person for somebody else, and that's peace. I even had a dude go off on me because I told him that recently. And it's like, yo, respect that I'm being honest to you. Like, how are you going to get upset because I don't want to move forward? Like, this is something that I've decided that is a deal breaker for me, so that's something that you should just accept and move on, But I guess everybody isn't built for being turned down, especially dudes. Dudes get in their feelings when they're turned down, and I don't understand that shit. But yeah, you ladies, it's time for us to really start taking responsibility, though. I don't want to make this video too long, but it's time for us to start taking responsibility for how we end up. I'm being real with you. I've been in a very shitty past relationship, and when I sit, and I couldn't at first, but when I sit back and I look at it now and I reflect, there's so many things in the very beginning that was shown to me to why I should have never entered that relationship. Ever entered that relationship. I was too young and dumb at the time to realize these things, these big ass red flags. And nor did I understand. And coming from the family that I came from, always seeing these type of things happening to women, to me it was something that it just was. That this is shit that happens in relationships. It's kind of, I didn't know what I know today, so I forgive myself. But however, the me today will not accept that shit. And if I see those signs now in a man, he's automatically gone, blocked, and everything. So it's very important that we stop crying the victim all the time, and realize that we play a value in the type of men that we choose to keep laying down with, that we choose to keep having children with, that we choose to keep committing to, that we choose to keep even just giving up our bodies to. It's always a two-way street. Unless you're raped or this person's like holding a gun to your head or something like that, you're forced some type of way, then nobody's forcing you to stay with this person and to continue to be with this person for all this time. So we have to take responsibility and say, like, hey, enough is enough. You're not what I'm looking for, and move on. And I don't know, that was on my heart today, and that's just something I wanted to share with you guys. Taking responsibility in relationships for everything that we end up getting for these people. It's just not always that person. Once again, people will treat you how you allow them to. So it's time that we get into self-love more and start loving ourselves more, and stop accepting bullshit from other people, and have our standards and stick to them. And if motherfuckers can't rise to our standards, or if they're not at our standards, peace. And that's and we ain't got to do that shit out of anger. I promise you. And I tell people quick, it's not out of anger to you that I say this. It's out of love for me. I don't even be angry when I say this shit. It's out of love for me that I realize this isn't for me. And that's peace in the words of my wonderful sis. So yeah, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I definitely hope everyone has an awesome Sunday and a wonderful week ahead. Please set your intentions before you go into your work week, whatever the case is. Keep pushing harder for your goals and your dreams. Never ever work harder on someone's job than you do on your own dreams. Okay, that job you're going to, that was someone's dream. They worked harder on it, and that's why you're able to even go to it. So learn from them. Okay, I love you guys so much. Peace and light.